to do it. Like I say, you are showing up for each other. And never feel shy about just putting up whatever. And also don't apologize to me if you haven't done the assignment. It's really, I am not, no. Yeah, it's for you. It's great because, we all hope to see each other's stuff. So if it's any motivation, it's your other classmates, but you're not going to get a grade from me. You're only, I'm helping to, just to be the motivator, the facilitator, the somebody who gives you these things that can take back with you and, keep this process going. But, interestingly enough, you can see that there's enough in those 25 photographs for you all that we could simply, work with those photos for the rest of this class, and there would be plenty, to play with. But this class, we're going to try something different. We're going to, see how we go with a sort of, train of thought about, but a little bit more concrete. Okay, so what I want to do right now is get right into our 30 minutes of quick, 10 new pieces. Now, what I'd like you to do is to make them small. Let's keep it around 5 by 7. All right, so they're small. I think it was similar last week, but 5 by 7. All right, and I want you guys to tell me the rules. So I'm going to write these rules up, and then once we do that, I will post them. But I want your feedback. So the first rule is that they're all going to be 5 by 7. Okay, and that's just all pieces approximately 5 by 7 inches. All right. Again, you don't have to measure carefully. This is not what that's about. It's just to kind of give you a goal. All right. What are some of these rules that we like? We need 4 rules.
I have one.
Yeah, Tammy.
Can we incorporate a tracing of an object?
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so this means that you're going to take an object that's around your house, that you're, pair of scissors, a pen, a comb, God knows, anything really, and trace it. So all of your 10 sheets of paper have to have a tracing of a real object. That's a great way to integrate a sort of, concrete object into your work without having to draw it. I love that. Okay, so let's do each piece has to have a tracing of. Is everybody understanding what that is? Do you all get that? Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I see it as either an outline
or
a rubbing
of it.
Yeah. Well, an outline, Tally. Yeah, I think it's simply an outline. Like a pair of scissors is a great one because it has some really interesting shapes in it. You could take the same one, but you could just put that tracing of the scissors on every single one. Or maybe, these are the things that are up to you. That's why, the rules are very loosey-goosey here, and the options are coming from you. All right, so all pieces 5 by 7, each piece has to have a tracing of an object. What's another one? Should we limit color?
Yeah, let's limit it.
Limit to 2 colors only?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Like that? Okay, limit of only 2 colors.
And are those same colors throughout the 10, or we get to vary that?
What do you think?
Yeah, stick with it.
Stick with it through the all 10. Okay, through all 10. Limit of only of same 2 colors. All right.
Same 2 colors.
Same
okay.
2 colors. Okay, that's really good limitation. Because within the limitation is incredible creativity. Yeah, it's not like you're cutting out a lot of possibilities. You're actually, honing in on them. Okay, so we need 2 more. Go ahead.
A circle somewhere.
A circle somewhere. I love it. Thank you, Anne. One more.
Variety of texture.
A little bit more specific, Tally. Do you want to say? Yeah.
One soft and one hard object.
But we're not taking pictures.
Yeah, I think that, I'm sorry to say that, but yeah, a little bit, all right, how about this? Let's say, how How about, can I put one in? How about
Mhm.
you have to cut a hole out of each one somewhere? Okay,
Yes.
all right. And a hole doesn't mean it has to be circle, it just means cut a hole, cut some kind of hole, cut a hole in each piece. All right, so I'm gonna make these large. That is your 5 rules,
Okay.
but how you interpret them, that's up to you. And we're gonna do this all in half an hour, all right? So I'm going to then put this up, post this on the screen share, and you guys are gonna do your best to go for till 11:15, and then we'll stop.
Okay.
Right?
10,
Okay, anyone?
10 5x7s.
Okay,
Yes, 10 5x7s. Yes, so yep, exactly. Or 5x8s. You can just take typing paper and printed paper and cut it in half. Anything along those lines that gives you that way to work. And then if you have any questions, I am happy to answer. But just again, get in the frame, put some loud music on. I'm going to mute you all. Listen to something that you want to listen to, and just dive in, work quickly, and try not to judge your work. Just we're doing these things, we're not judging them. So this is the doing part. Everybody can see this on the screen here. These are your instructions. All pieces 5x7 ish. Each piece has to have a tracing of an object. Limiting same 2 colors through all 10. So you could just pick 2 colors right now and get them ready to go. A circle somewhere, anywhere. How big, how small, how many is up to you. And then cut a hole in each piece somewhere. That's it. All right. Have fun. Go for it. Go crazy. I'm going to mute us all so that you can be kind of private. If you want to turn off your screen, your picture, feel free to do that. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable to do this, just go for it. All right. Just a reminder that you are not judging your work. You're working very quickly through these. You're spending about 3 minutes per each painting, little piece, whatever it is. Have
How much time do
fun.
we have? How much time do we have?
We have about 15 more minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, this is an exercise is moving through it without judgment. Okay.
Making the sizes of paper, that took time.
Oh dear.
Next time I'll bring a lot of 5x7.
Yeah, well, yep, just, yep.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the size so much as just kind of getting down to work, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, all right.
we got about 5 more minutes. We'll do what we did last week, which is to take a group of 5 and then another group of 5. And then if it's easy for you to put it on your Padlet, that would be great. If not, just email to me. So we'll just, again, not a critique at all, just to see what each other has been doing, because it'll all be really different. Okay, just a couple more minutes. Go ahead and take your photographs. However, however many you did, it's fine. Even if you didn't finish them all, it's this way of working that is the underlining here. It is not what you came up with. It is the process. It is learning to do without editing. So we're just practicing what that feels like when we just go for it, no holds barred. Take 2 quick pictures or just 1 picture of all of them together, or 5 and 5, whatever works for you, and just throw them up on email or Padlet, whatever is easier. And we'll just take a quick peek because it's fun. Yeah, you can unmute yourselves now.
I have a question. When you want to take, it seems like it's tedious. I have to keep taking one picture and then going back, publishing that, and then go back. There's, other than taking a group picture, is there a faster way to do it or not? Maybe not. I don't know.
I do think that you can upload more than yeah, it's possible. You have to, yeah, but
I'll mess with it. Okay.
Yeah, but for this, yeah, we're just doing 5 at a time, or 10 at a time.
Yeah.
This is just a quickie, just get them up. Let's
All
take a look real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So you can unmute yourselves if you would, please, so we can see what our group was up to today. Oh, I hear some music. Great.
We can hear the jam.
Yeah, I'm still dancing.
Oh yeah, dancing here. Great. Oh my God, my dog.
Was there?
Unbelievable. All right, so we're gonna stop. Let's take them off and let's just go see. So, all right, who's got their work up?
Almost. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I have it up.
You do, Connie. Okay, are you in Padlet or are you on? You're in Padlet,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let me share the screen here. And those of you who are still getting it up there, don't go ahead, and we'll still be talking, even though you're not quite up yet there, but we will do this as you do. All right, we're going to just take a quick peek at Connie's, and let's just see the variety that she derived. Oh, Connie, did you do one at a time?
Yeah, one at a time, and I couldn't figure out how to. That's what I'm.
Yeah, I mean, you could just take a whole group shot of the 5 in the whole
Yeah.
group.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay. So, but we're, we'll just take a quick look at what you've got up right now. Just so, like, we're not saying anything about these. We're just noticing all the different ways that people are doing this, and I'm hoping that the benefit happened in the moment that you were doing this exercises yourself, so that it really became this interesting experience to work quickly. This is rapid work. Susan, you said this was new for you. So the more you do this, the more you get used to doing it. Let's see, Anne, have you got?
I'm there.
Anne's got a grouping up. Yeah.
And I think I put one of them there twice. So.
Oh, okay. No worries. Yeah. So exactly. So interesting to see how everybody approached this differently. I think that was a really interesting idea that you had, Tammy, to do tracings. Let's see.
Thank you.
Tally, do you have this yours up here on Padlet? Yes, you do. Great. Okay, and yeah, so fun to see all these varieties, variations on a theme. We love that. Great. Yeah. So again, this is the process here was the most important thing, just to feel what it's like to just race through this stuff, get it down there, make your decisions rapidly and move on.
Yeah.
You know, that's what this is.
I feel like I discover something new every time because I'm like, oh, what do these rules really mean? How do you define a circle? How do you define a hole?
Exactly. And that's right. Because, you know, within these restrictions, you know, there's enormous creativity. You know, it seems like it's, you know, it should be the other way around, that, you know, your rules really tie you down. But in fact, they open you up.
I had to email them to you because I don't have Padlet on my phone. So
Okay, sure. No, Pat. You know, you might want to do that, Susan.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And I
Great.
only did 4 of them.
Okay,
because-
all right. So, you know, I'm hoping by the time you reach to class 8, you are going to be able to do 10. Just
Yes.
whip them out. Yeah, you know, you're letting go, you know, just kind of going with, you know, your kind of gut feeling about it, ripping through it. Yeah. Okay, great. Did we not see anybody? Did we see everybody here? Yes, maybe. I think we saw everybody. Okay. Great. So the next thing that I wanted to do, because we had talked about it a little bit last time, was to talk about composition. Am I right about that? That was one of the things that came up for everybody last week, just sort of curiosity about composition. And so I made a short video that I thought I would show to you, and, you know, have that be the a kind of a little bit of a prompt to into a discussion. So I had fun making this. I also there's another class that I'm teaching that also asked, you know, about this composition. It occurred to me that this really is, you know, something that a lot of people have questions about, and it was worth, you know, doing this other little video. So I did have it up there, but I don't know what happened to it. It just seemed disappeared. So let me just go to my videos and bring this up. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like composition can rescue something that you had thought was completely failed by just like
Yes.
reorienting or cropping or like, yeah.
Exactly. It's you know, very, very much our friend and our go-to, you know, beyond almost anything else. And it can really help us to communicate what we're trying to communicate. Okay, so I'm going to share my video with you now. And I'm just going to move a little bit faster through. Okay. So what I've done here is I'm just using very simple pieces of construction paper to talk to you a little bit about it. Wait, I just want to optimize my my voice here.
Yeah, the volumes. Can't
I thought I
really hear
would
it.
just start very simply and talk to remind you that we have a lot of possibilities out there. But the point of a good design, a point of a design that is successful rather, is one that keeps your viewer engaged. You want to say something with your art. You want to show somebody something with your art, so you want them to be engaged. So that is the main point here. That's why I really, you know, don't believe much in this set of rules, but more to, you know, follow your own eyeballs to see what actually does work in the real world. So what I've done here is I've, sorry, it's a little bit fuzzy here for a second. Get out of that in a minute. Okay, there we go. So I got one single orange, you know, circle on the piece of yellow. And, you know, what does that suggest to you? When it's smack in the middle, you know, we have a sense of equilibrium. You know, everything is, you know, focused into the middle of the page. The rest is just empty. So it really draws your eyes smack to the middle. I mean, that isn't a bad thing. It's just, it is a thing to notice, and you can use that to, you know, make what you have to say more compelling for whatever reason. So, you know, that if you want to, you know, make people like, you know, come to look at your work, you know, with no uncertain for no uncertain reason, for a very specific reason. Think about the bullseye. Think about the things that like advertisements and box designs, like for Tide, for example. I mean, there's a reason why people use bullseyes, because our eyes just want to go there. Okay, so beyond the circle in the middle, which is pretty obvious, we have the idea of having a circle coming off of the page. And again, what happens when you have a completely empty page and you have just half a circle? What would be the thing you're saying with that? What about one circle at either end? Again, it's kind of a balance. It's predictable. But as soon as you start moving these circles around the page, they change. Overlapping can change. And when you look at this, for example, what you feel is, too little, maybe the circles represent people, two little people huddled together all by themselves in a great big world. I mean, that is one meaning that this kind of design can give you, and it doesn't really follow the elements of design in a way that, everything is considered. But I mean, things are considered in a more emotional way this way. So if you have something to say about, a lonely child or family or a house in the middle of, the wilderness, you want them to be clumped together with, the feeling of space and, being kind of alone in the universe, then this kind of a design would do that for you. I'm introducing a third circle. So now I have 3, and this one is much, much larger. So what begins to happen when I pull these circles away from each other? The picture plane changes. What happens when you overlap? What happens when, they're so close together? What happens because this is all the way in the corner? So this empty space, we really acknowledge it. I mean, it's something to, if that's part of your design, that's really something to be concerned, with in terms of your content. So here we're adding a 4th circle, but they're different colors. So your eye does different things with that. An introduction of a pink sort of rectangle type shape, again, overlapping into the red. It changes when you have that pink rectangle in the middle. It kind of divides the whole space. As we talked about, we want to, we crave a relationship, so this is the only thing that's like this in the whole composition, this pink rectangle. But I was just saying, I wanted to underline that. I was saying we crave seeing repetition. We, in a design, you're going to introduce a circle, your eye is going to look for other circles. When you suddenly introduce another composition element like a rectangle, suddenly you are upsetting the cart a little bit, and you're introducing something new, and putting it in the middle divides this picture plane. But so you could see it. I guess the point of this whole video that I'm doing here is that yes, there are rules of composition that help a composition to be unified, that keep us looking, but then there's also the emotional component of the way that you use shapes, and they can also say things. So here I think what you're doing is you're saying there's a division, there's a grouping of similarities, and they are kept, from their little friend on the other side. So, that is an interesting thing that happens. We create narratives. And so, you want to pay attention to the way you're using these shapes, certainly as a way to keep us looking at this, but you also want to create variation, and also these variations can bring an emotional component, a content to your work. You know, that's something that is dividing, and it might be part of the content. Yeah, I'm just going to move a little bit forward here. Always thinking about how your elements of, you know, of interest on the picture plane are relating to the outside edge, are relating to the other shapes. Right now, this design lacks something. You know, it feels like I want to see another circle over in this side. We've repeated the orange, repeated the red, but you know, we have this sort of separation here. Again, that could be something that you want to say with the work. You know, obviously, it might be that, you know, you're talking about, you know, maybe people or trees or something else, like not just strips of paper. But this is just to say that, you know, what are some of the things that you want to consider if you're trying to say something that might not be, you know, sort of part of the rules of good design, quote unquote. So it depends on how you're using all these things is what the bottom line is. Let's see if we can bring something in to keep working on this design. Here's an orange circle. This is interesting because we have this optical illusion where this orange seems like it's much lighter than the orange over here, doesn't it? And I always love to play with these tricks of vision. I find that they're really, really fun to do. So if I have a chance to put one color on another and then show it by itself, it pleases me no end. So now this is a design that feels like it has a lot of activity, doesn't it? It almost feels like, is that a bat, you know, in a baseball game? Is that the ball that's getting, you know, batted right off of the page? It has a nice feeling of movement about it, which is something that I always strive for. I would much rather have a moving kind of a feeling in my design than one that's very static. But, you know, that again depends on what you're after. Suddenly putting a shape behind this orange slash suddenly changes the design. And again, now we have something that goes off the page, just like we do over here. And it anchors, it tends to anchor the shapes so that the shapes aren't kind of flying away in an unweighted atmosphere, gravityless atmosphere. We have things that kind of visually weight the designs. So, you know, so we haven't repeated this pink, but I actually don't mind that it's the only thing there because it repeats the circle feeling of the circles we already have. And it is a piece of variety. You know, it's a variation on the circle that have so far only been orange and red. So I don't mind it. I kind of buy it. What happens when we add some more rectangular shapes? And you know, always the question of, you know, how much is too much? When do you stop? You know, I think that comes more with experience, but you know, you do want to consider resting areas for your eyes. Like you don't necessarily want to have everything going so visually speedily that it is exhausting to look at. So I think this design has some nice resting areas for the eyes. It's got things going on, but I don't feel crunched anywhere. Oh, introducing another shape. It's pink, so it does relate to my pink shape that I've got down already, but what do I do with it? And as you can see, I'm just kind of looking around, trying to see where it might fit. All right, well, the pink does definitely relate to this other pink shape on the bottom. That's a really good thing. And there is nothing, you know, there's no dark weighting over here. No, there, you know, this red is quite dark, but there's nothing else going on. So I'm about to introduce some more color, and let's see what happens when we do that. We've got blue from the tape that I have over here, and I'm going to try a different color shape, a square sort of piece of blue tape that again sort of shifts your focus. I think the focus was up here. Again, we have that fun, change of a color, so that this blue over here looks lighter than it is over here, but we know it's actually the same color. That's because colors really interact with each other. It's really hard to see one all by itself. So now, as you can see, we've got that blue that draws our eyes all over the page, and we are sort of drawn to keep looking around and around and around. Very good, because we really want people to look at what we're doing here. That really works. And now we are bringing a little bit of that red back down into this half of the page. And again, our eyes pick up the orange circle and the orange circle up here. So right now it still is pretty balanced. Let's see what else happens here. I think we're going to bring in some skinny shapes. So again, these skinny shapes, they relate to the rectangle. They can be part of this design because they are repetitions of the other shapes. And so we don't find them, I don't think, too much yet. And they also relate to this slash. And it's always the same things that go off right off the page here.
Edgar,
Yeah.
you've got
So
one
now we're gonna
orange
come
piece.
to using, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, you've got the lower orange piece that goes way off the white piece of paper.
I do. Yeah, I just didn't cut that down. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to imagine that that's cut off.
Yeah.
All right. Our black. And it's, I did want to use black because I think, it'd be fun to see what happens when you use a very, very strong color, very high contrast to the other things that are down here, to notice what happens when we start to do that. So what I'm pleased with are these channels of yellow that travel through the whole thing because they're the background color. And I feel like, all of this is like the jigsaw puzzle. One can't be there without the other shape being cut in a certain way as well. So it's all important, both the shapes we're adding and the shapes that are already down there. I'm just moving this black shape around to see what happens when I have it sort of back toward the end of this side. This orange is just hasn't been cut yet. That's why it's hanging out there. So just ignore that. That one and the yellow. So we're going to introduce another shape, and that is a star. So what is that like? Let me introduce that. And how does that work? Well, now our eye sees the black of the star and sees the black down here. So I still feel like we're doing okay.
Are you going to add more
And we have
black?
another
Yeah.
black
I
shape.
was going to say, I think it needs more blacks.
Yeah.
now.
Yep. Too close.
Oh, I
too
like
close.
that. Lower, yeah.
Yeah, I think that black
Yeah,
shape
I
needs
like
to
it
be
there. Yeah.
down in that corner somehow.
Mhm. It's amazing. Huh?
you could ask yourself right now, well, what do you think it needs? Is it better upside down? Is it better sideways? You know, these are all really good questions. And to some extent, you know, there are many, many answers. There isn't just one good design. There are so many.
When you do your sculptures, are you thinking about this a lot? Do you think?
Absolutely. So I think what
That's
I'm doing
what
here is experimenting on very much having a little bit of this red showing on the other side of the orange or not. And I think I've decided that I like it better when I have a little bit of the red. I think what happens here is that this red carries over to the bottom half of the page. Now what I'm doing is I'm using the negative shapes that were left over from the cutouts that I made before. And I'm using them as you would a stencil in your jelly plate to see if this design becomes more interesting or stronger when I mask things off, you know. And this is something else that you can play with. You know, take a design that has a lot going on and just calm it down by creating a stencil that, you know, overlaps some of the other information. I mean, but this isn't really what I want. I want to have the same color red peeking out of this bottom shape. But yeah, I'm trying to move it a little bit here. But, you know, you can see the idea that really, you know, both your positives and your negatives, just as in printmaking, are really fun and interesting elements to add to your design. And can give you all kinds of new possibilities that you might not have thought about before. Okay, I'm going to stop it here. So yeah, what are your thoughts? I mean, questions?
I love the additive process, right? And just sort of like fiddling with it, and you know.
Yeah, design is really fun. And again, it's not a puzzle. Absolutely. I guess what I was trying to model there was, you know, my process, you know, and this, you know, my sort of pushback to this idea that there, you know, is only one kind of good design, and good design relies on paying attention to those rules of design, but that you know, you can take some of just the obvious things that you notice as you're looking at a picture. Like, what is the thing that you see first? You know, and why do you see that first? It's likely because it stands out first, you know, it draws your eye. And just using what we intuitively know about looking at pictures from our own, you know, experience, how your eye moves around a picture. The point of a design is to get people to stay looking at your picture. You know, that's why you're doing it. You want them to stay with it. So interesting composition that keeps them engaged and isn't so busy that people just kind of go, oh my God, I know, I can't even go there because it's so too busy. Or, you know, the idea is to engage, and how do you do that? That's, you know, that is the question, that is the process. And that it's all fair game. That, you know, you can, you know, just have fun playing with, you know, just a couple of different colors. Colored construction paper is a great thing to use. And, you know, it really gets us started on that. So what I thought we would do to just end the class is to have you guys do a similar thing that I just did, which is to, you know, take just a couple of sheets of paper and, you know, if you don't have anything, if you don't have, you probably don't have a construction paper packet nearby, but if you even just have some magazines that you could cut up, to take a sheet of 5x7, like or 5x8, that's a half a sheet of your printer paper, and then just do some composing with it using 3 or 4 colors and see what you make. See how you do in terms of creating a composition that is interesting, that draws your eye through it. So can we do this in just the next 10 minutes or so before we take off for the last part of our class? But playing with composition, again, this is not a pressured situation. This is an intuitive kind of a process where I want you to not judge, but just to go for it, see what you come up with rather rapidly. And, having seen my model of working through it, see if you cannot do the same thing on your own. Okay, so construction paper and collage where you're not gluing anything down is a really, very low stakes kind of a process to do. All right, so no worries about gluing it down. Just walk it through, see what you can do, come up with something, don't glue it down, and we'll take a look at it in about 10 minutes. See what happens as you
Okay.
work around with some of these possibilities.
And did you say we should use a 5x7 sheet?
Yeah, keep it small.
Okay.
Something smallish, 5x7-ish, 5x8, whatever that is. Standard
Okay.
typing paper in half is a great way to go for it. Everybody doing okay? Yeah, just grab, magazine colors or anything at all, just something so that you have, white sheet of paper is fine. Just play with these design elements, see what happens. Repeating a form a couple of times is a great one. Keeping to 2 or 3 colors, very, very good idea. Don't judge it, just do it. Okay, yeah. Susan had to leave a little early, so we're just 4 now. Yeah, let's take a look at what you've done here. You don't have to glue it down. Just kind of stop wherever you want to stop, and yeah, let's see what you did. You can email it or you can put it on Padlet. Either one was fine. And make sure to unmute yourself because we want to have a little chat about this.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
So all these quick exercises we do in class, again, this is about learning to not judge, just do it, dive right in. You know, one of the surefire ways to get rid of the critic is just to work fast. Just go do it, you know, and think less, do more. You know, and then we can always go back and edit after the process, but the process is the key. Opening it up, letting it happen, seeing what happens.
Right, and just having this, like, if you, I'm thinking I might want to take the same pieces of paper, they're not glued down, and just make them like 5 different ways, because that seems like the best way to understand composition.
Yes. Yes, Anne, exactly. And yes, if you have the inclination, it's a wonderful thing to do because that's how you discover
Right.
these different kinds of possibilities. Just playing around, just
Yeah, because I recently made this big collage. I think you've seen it in various iterations, but it was kind of blah. I didn't like it. And then one day I put a white thing that's sort of like a flower. Pretty much it was bullseye, sort of. And it totally transformed it. It really was shocking to me. Just one thing went from blah to kind of interesting.
yeah.
That made me a believer in composition.
What kind of
Right.
alchemy is that?
Exactly.
What?
There's some
Alchemy. It's turning it
alchemy.
into
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
How
sometimes
much it changed, so much. So, and it didn't, because if you look at, like, I have a David Hockney print in my house, there is an itsy bitsy little house in the distance of the huge landscape. But if you cover up that little dot, it's different.
Oh, exactly. And that's a great thing to do too, is like when you're looking at artwork or even an ad in the newspaper or, you know, whatever. I mean, just look around and cover something and see if it still works in the same way.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. And that it's just, the more we look and see design all over the place, you know, I find it really interesting to look at, you know, the photograph designs in like, fashion magazines or you know, whatever you have to see, you know, how are they getting us to look at what they're trying to sell. You know, it's really so interesting. Some of the high-end ones with, you know, various models, and you're like, what the heck are they selling? And then you're like, oh, I see, it's that handbag. How is it standing out? You know, what are they doing to get us to really engage? Why do I keep wanting to look at this photograph? Like, why is it so compelling to me? It's amazing.
Or I love like when they're trying to sell perfume, because there's no image that really goes with any kind of perfume. So they have to like associate something as weird as possible, you know?
Yes, exactly. They're very clever. All right, so let's quickly look at some of these things that you did. Are we all in Padlet? Who's not in Padlet? Just let me know. We can go. All right, everybody's on Padlet, so let's share the screen. And let's see what we have here. Okay, Padlet. Here we go. All right, Connie, let's just see what you happen to put up here for your, oh yeah, okay. Was this fun? Yeah, Connie, did you have fun doing this? I'm hoping you did. I think what, you know, is what I'm really enjoying is the black channels.
Black.
Whole thing, you know, it's really, and they pop up through here, you know, the little surprises. And so, yes, you have used, you know, some of the repeating shapes. We've got circles, we've got around, we've got the block of green that's repeated up here. We've got triangles repeated, you know, sort of in here. So yeah, and this shape goes right off the edge, which, you know, I love. and I'm going to guess that these white don't belong there, right? This is just fragment of the picture. Great. Okay.
An artifact of the frame.
Artifact of the frame. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great. Let's see here. Tally, let's see what you got here. Great. Oh, great. Okay. Good, good, good. So yeah, so Tally decided to actually draw on the background. That's an interesting idea. So yeah, well, you've got our square smack in the middle. You've got things pointing to the square. So the square is the you know, the star of the show here.
Right.
Right? Without question, all roads point to Rome. Yeah.
And how much the black and white just makes it so much more interesting to have that contrast.
It does, yes, doesn't it? Exactly. Yeah, that was a good call, Tally, to break up that white with yeah. And if you wanted us to you know, not focus quite so much smack in the middle, you could take this yellow and maybe put it, you know, put a little bit over here and maybe up here. But that would be a way to you know, get our eye to search more around the space. Oh yeah, here's her first. I think she decided to add black.
Oh yeah, no, it's there. It's like how much difference. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like I said, there is no one perfect design. There are so many. There are so many, and this is what, you know, we just come to with our own vision. Let's see. This is Tammy. Tammy. Oh, wow.
You can see the detail again.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot going on there.
Exactly. So I wanted to say that I'm in this like Easter explosion of
Okay.
maximalist.
Yeah,
And I've
yes.
spent the whole morning like cutting up and whatever. I'm in charge of Zoom church, so I'm sending packages.
Oh,
These random.
fun.
And
Okay.
I want people to pose them with peeps. So I'm kind of like, I get to do this too.
Yes, yes. Is this one a little bit less? Is this one more that's more controlled? This one
I don't
seems,
know what I mean by controlled.
yeah. More. Is this one more planned?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like they were both planned, but I was adjusting everything, but I wanted to play with other like 3D elements and.
Sure. Yeah. So no, I think that's great. So this one does feel to me a little bit less chaotic because I can read, you know, the repeating color, the green here, the green here. You know, certainly circles are, you know, something that holds it all together. So even though there's a lot going on, there is a way to keep it from being so chaotic that we don't want to look at it. This, I think I would say that this other one verges on being almost too much.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you do have some, you know, design elements that carry through. So that is something comforting that we.
And it's funny. This is the one I like better.
Yeah, you're a maximalist for sure.
Yeah. And I have a self-portrait in there, and I have like, I wanted to include everything. Yeah. Okay,
good. And let's see, who are we? Citizens. All right, I think that's everybody here. All right.
Me. I think. Was I there? All right.
Yeah, you missed me. Thank you very much. Okay.
Mine's more the minimalist.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. Great. So yeah. And for me, it's like something going right up to the edge of the page is crying out because, you know, it's floating about. You do have something over here. And I would say something down here that anchors it would be, you know, a really good you know, thought about this. Yeah. But again, the nice channel of white gives our eyes something to rest a little bit. And that definitely brings our eye through the whole thing. And you've done a great job with, you know, the repeating of the shapes and all that stuff. Great, everybody. All right. Well, you know, this has been a lot in here, a lot today to do. But you know, I'm kind of doing these quick ones in class to model that whole process of working quickly, so that the more you do it, the more I think, you know, it feels familiar and isn't such a hard thing to do, which is why we're doing so many in class this time. So we do have to stop today, but I will be sending, your homework is really keep going with this project that you've got going, you know, and if you're listening to music, keep doing the music. Listen to music, bring out your paints. It can be so simple. Keep it simple, everybody. And Connie, if that was hard to do the printmaking, don't do the printmaking. You know, maybe stay with the painting, paint to the music, Anne.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, and the rest of you keep going with, what feels good, comfortable, that, kind of pushes the ball, a little bit further along the line. We've got quite a while to keep going on it. And so keep feeling comfortable, find your comfort, but find also a way that feels satisfying to you. See you all. I gotta run, gotta go to Northampton now.
Okay. See you in a week. Have a good trip. Bye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.